Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Rick and Morty, One Crew Over the Crewcoo's Morty. And I enjoyed this one. Now granted, it wasn't really complex. I mean, it did a great job of deconstructing kind of like the heist genre, but I really liked that it was essentially just this giant plan from Rick to kind of stop Morty from doing something. So we pretty much see them going off. We see an interesting kind of Arby's kind of promotional thing as Rick is eating that while Morty is trying to scale a cliff. They're pretty much he gets up to the well, he almost falls off because he got bit by a alien spider, but Rick's able to catch him in his hover chair, and they kind of go in, they put on their like booby trap suits, and they just walk through all the booby traps, which was pretty great. And they get into the tomb that they're looking in because this is Morty's grand adventure, and they find that there's just an origami thing, and it's this Miles kind of dude who's like this heist guy, and he's like, oh, Rick's kind of pissed off about it. So they go to try and find the dude, and he's got a heist con pretty much dedicated to himself. It's like, oh god damn it, and you have to do all these kind of crazy things to get in. And the receptionist person's like, well, are you fans, are you professionals? And of course Rick tries to do the professional angle first, but they're like, you need a crew to get in. He's like, fuck that shit. Tries to use a portal to get Morty in. He gets kind of like fucked up. He's like, fine. So he assembles a crew just to get in there. So he's able to get there, and he gets to Miles, and I like the one thing that they did where he's like, lab coat, rip off Doctor Strange as he's like messing with the security. And he's pretty much just going after Miles, and Miles like, fine, whatever. How about we do a heist off kind of thing? It's like, yeah, we'll steal this kind of crystal skull thing because Rick needed this thing from the tomb they were going to raid. And he wanted that item. Granted, that doesn't become important really much after the scheme of things. But we find out that Miles had used the people that Rick had left behind to pull off the heist, but and when they come into the room to present the skull, it's just shit in there. And of course, the thing on the line was that whoever lost the heist off would join the other one's crew. And of course, we see that Rick was able to do a like a double cross switcheroo thing himself, and because he had used this Heistotron kind of bot, and he was able to kind of get everything together and has taken control of like the Heistcom people, tells them to steal everything, which inadvertently leads to Miles' death as they're kind of ripping him to pieces. And Rick just even throws the crystal skull thing away before everything just starts getting completely crazy. Heistotron's like, I'm going to keep doing heists and shit. And pretty much tries to take everything over. So, of course, Rick then has to assemble a new team. And one of the people in the team is Elon Tusk, which is an alternate version of Elon Musk. I mean, I don't mind the cameo. I kind of like it, especially since I've seen a lot of stuff with him doing the memes and stuff and hanging out with the creators of Rick and Morty. I kind of would have wanted a little bit more, but he was kind of playing an alternate version of himself, so there really wasn't much he could do. He was essentially just Elon Musk with tusks. Still funny though. I kind of liked it, especially when they're talking about like, hey, yeah, the Heistotron's kind of like doing all this stuff and stealing all this stuff, so we can't really waste as much time. And Elon Tusk kind of wasted a little bit of time. It's like, God damn it, this is why we went with you. We were the reason you were supposed to be more advantageous than the actual Elon Musk was because you wouldn't waste time like this, but you did waste time. Shit. And we find out that they've gathered their crew together, and that they're using a Randotron this time to make themselves completely random to fuck with Heistotron's whole thing. And he's like stealing planet cores and all this shit, and we find out that he's actually stolen Earth and all the planets and all that. And we get throughout this episode that Rick fucking hates heist movies, and he just really doesn't like how they work out, being like a certain percentage of just crew gathering and 40% that the heist has already been done. It's like, yeah, I could get that criticism. And he pretty much goes and gets the one into a loop and blows its brains, and we get to another one where it blows its brains, and we get to the end, and Morty's like, oh damn, I got a meeting with Netflix to pitch my heist movie thing. And of course Rick takes him there, and we learn throughout this that a couple of weeks ago that Summer's friends have been pitching stuff to Netflix, and that Morty was going to do his pitch to Netflix, and that Rick has pretty much done this whole thing to make sure that Morty is just disillusioned with heists and everything, and he kind of like stops in the middle of doing his pitch and says, "Screw it, whatever, I'll just keep doing adventures with you," and that's what Rick wanted anyway. It's kind of got a simple premise of Rick doesn't want Morty to leave him and wants him to continue doing ventures, and just the convoluted crap that he has gone through to engineer this scenario was just entertaining to get through. I'm like, yeah, okay. I didn't know how this was going to pan out, but I enjoyed it. Granted, they could have done they really did a lot of wild and crazy stuff. The only one that they could have done crazier stuff with would have probably been like Elon Tusk, but it's just one kind of criticism of that they could have done more with the character, but that wasn't really the point, so it evens out, you know what I mean? It's something like, hey, this would have been nice, but I kind of liked how they did it and engineered it to get through all of this, to just be like, Rick did it to make sure that Morty doesn't leave him. And it's just kind of cool to see that part of Rick, but he should be like talking to his grandson and be like, hey, I did just want to spend time with you. But Rick's not that healthy. Don't know if he'll ever get that healthy. But I enjoyed this. This was nice to just kind of go through a really kind of crazy scenario for pretty much a simple premise at the end. So I can't wait to see what they do in the next episode. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.